And then compare that to, that was the same year that Jennifer Connelly won Best Supporting Actress for playing a Latina. Because, yeah, Jennifer Connelly was the wife of John Nash in A Beautiful Mind. Yes, who in real life, John Nash's wife was from El Salvador. Not the only time that Jennifer Connelly played Latina, actually. There was this one movie she did with Antonio Banderas in the mid-90s called Of Love and Shadows, which the only reason worth watching it is her getting nailed by Banderas in a cave, and another scene where there is one particular image right here. And there she's playing a woman in Chile. And then for the lady who was known as 90s Phoebe Cates, who was there to be the hot brunette that would show her tits in all her roles. And then she goes and blows Harvey Weinstein to go and win Best Supporting Actress. Except when she's on stage, she actually does it, like a poised, stable adult. She goes up there, she makes her speech, and it comes off like, actually like the old statement of act like you've been there before. But let's hear the rest of her speech. Dang, she was hot. She would pass as a Latina. Well, considering the multiple roles where she was either Chilean or El Salvadorian, well, I could see, even though the complexion like that is entirely built on, a combination of Black, Irish, and Jewish. No, Connelly, of course, being Irish and her mom being Jewish, so you get that the half-Jewish princess. And Forever says, yes, there are tons of white passing Latinas in South America. Well, and yes, as Forever says, people in Chile are mostly white, by the way. Not that the professionally offended left-wing types would, because, yeah, it was not like the thing around the world, which if A Beautiful Mind were made today, it would have been the only thing that anybody in the mainstream press would have wanted to talk about, was the idea of having, this hot white girl playing the El Salvadorian wife of John Nash, as opposed to, praising the movie for, anything or whatever. It would be nothing to do with the movie and everything to do with, woke freaks wanting to scream about Mo whitewashing. Despite, the actress playing her looking exactly like this El Salvadorian lady. And, people in Chile being mostly white, by the way, well, that doesn't really matter to these idiots. And as usual with these social justice jagoffs, all that talk, all that screaming is really just a Trojan horse for how they're mad that there are people more attractive than them in the world. Like this lady right here. Those are the gifts made in Hugh Hefner's idea of heaven. But I agree with it. And just let that linger on that for a bit. Or this one right here, if you want to see her, if you like her better in the hat. Doesn't this image right here give you a whole new appreciation for women in uniform? I know it does for me. I want to see a modern actress go and recreate that image. Well, the gaggle of drug-addled, anorexic millennial lesbians that live to satisfy the masturbatory fantasies of Leslie Headland and Kathleen Kennedy, well, yeah, you wouldn't be able to see that anywhere near as attractive. Maybe if you put a black wig on Sydney Sweeney, if only for her to have further something else that would really piss off all the right sociopaths on TikTok. See, Reddit does have its good days. The drawing with the boobs comes out great. Well, remember, we've got more. The way to work, when you're making comics, you can't be like Dale Keown. You gotta be like Jay Leno in those Doritos commercials he used to do, where the slogan was, "Don't worry, we'll make more." If you were around to see those commercials, or if you've seen them retroactively. Like that was the big thing Leno did when he was still like a working comedian, appearing as a stand-up on the Tonight Show before he took over hosting from David Letterman. He took hosting over from Johnny Carson instead of David Letterman, and then became the bane of the existence of every pretentious comedy nerd that's been vicariously living through David Letterman. I wonder why they would want to go and be so, preferring to cheer on the guy who was a blatant fucking sex pest that got away with it. Or, if you remember, back in the day when our lady right here, Jennifer Connelly, appeared on Letterman to promote A Beautiful Mind, and she started talking about, she started wondering why the audience was so loud and elated and cheering for her showing up. And she's like, why are they still clapping so loud? What, are they being like paid to clap? And Letterman's response was, I think it has something to do with the dress. And if, say, even a Jimmy Fallon wouldn't said anything like that, all the Twitter jackoffs and all the comedy nerds would be screaming sex pest at him, and don't you fucking deny it. But then again, if these assholes didn't have double standards, they'd have no standards. Just leave that up on screen while I get this lettering over here. I am jealous of her sons as well, although her sons may, have been the reason why she wound up dropping so much weight that these days Jennifer Connelly looks like Jared Leto in drag. They nursed and nursed and nursed so much that it wound up draining her completely. And that's why if you see her, at events or like on the beach or whatever, she looks like a complete stick with nothing. Pretty much the exact opposite of how she looked in that little black swimsuit in The Hot Spot. Jared Leto in drag, so Jared Leto, yeah. At least when they were in Requiem for a Dream together, that's when she was still eating, so you actually could tell them apart. As opposed to if they did a movie together again today, and then it would be like, well, at least he has that beard. Yes, Mark, Jennifer Connelly before she went skeletal. That's another reason why I appreciate Alexandra Daddario so much, how she's like about to turn 40 and is still, maintained her figure. She's still eating and still buxom and attractive, as opposed to, every other like New York-based actress who the second they turn 30 or the second they have children, then turn into bulimia patients. 90s Jennifer Connelly would have been the perfect Zatanna. The magical maiden would be brought to life by the hot, did we mention she's kind of hot? Jennifer Connelly from The Rocketeer and Career Opportunities. She just better be wearing the fishnet stockings because yes, she is, yes. Those were the right movies to bring up when referring to her, especially back then. Just a little bit, but I think we all already knew that. So until then, I want to thank you all for watching. Subscribe to the channel. We'll reach 10,000 subs. Become a member today and shop my art store with the second link in the description below, where you can buy my art or commission me or support me directly with a donation. And besides that, you can also go and buy a copy of my first comic book, Encrypted, where a regular copy is $5, an autographed copy is $10, an autographed and sketched in copy is $20, or you can subscribe to the comic for $60, or subscribe at the signature level with your subscription for $90. And tomorrow I will have shorts at 5 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 and 6. I will have a new video at 6:30, and I'll be live again at 10. So until then, felines, slam it, lick it, suck it, and